Hey everybody, welcome to T-Roy Cooks and welcome to another Thursday Chatting with Troy. If this is your first time here, this is where I answer your questions. If you've got a question for me, just ask it in the comment section down below of the video. If you're interested in any of the products or YouTubers I may mention or my social media, just hit show more beneath the video. That'll open the description box. And along with all that, I've also got a list of the questions, and where at in the video those questions are answered. So check that out. Cheers to all of you. And I had a lot of questions this past episode. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them. So if I'm not answering your question today and I don't answer it in like the next week or two, go ahead and ask it again if you don't mind. But I appreciate all the questions. Y'all keep me going, man. I'm still loving doing this, and I'm glad that each of you are with me every week. And man, I get so many fine stories. It's really cool. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. I'm just sipping on my regular bush today. So nothing special. Oh, I've got wings, you know. Somebody said it looked like I got a raccoon around my face or something. Yeah, working on it, man, working on it. Also got I found a company here in Austin that makes bearded oil and beard balm, stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to hook up with them. They actually told me to hook up with them. You know, I contacted them and they said, yeah, sure, get back with us. So let's see if we can work something out. Maybe I'll start using some local beard products for my beard. Yeah, oils and balms and stuff like that. Really cool. Oh, got an itch. Anywho, let's get to it. Let's get some questions answered for today. See how long we can make this one. I know some of you like the really long ones, like an hour-long chats, and some of you just like the 20 to 30-minute chats. So if you've got a preference, chime in. Let me know. It's a lot easier on me to do the longer ones, though, just so you know. Let's see, first question's from Golden's Domain, I'm sorry. It says, hey, Troy, wondering if you have any suggestions for reusing partially used charcoal. I might fire up my Weber Kettle to quickly make burgers. Dang, bird or something over there. To make burgers or a smaller steak, which will leave a good amount of charcoal when I'm done. The next time I use the kettle, I find that my temps are significantly lower using a fresh batch of charcoal, let's say 500 plus degrees for fresh, versus about 325 degrees for reused. Yeah, I've actually experienced that too. He says, always knock off the ash and add new briquettes to the top of my baskets. It got to the point where I just dumped the load of used briquettes, but that's such a waste. He says, any suggestions? Cheers from Canada, Dave. There you go, Dave. I appreciate the question, man, and thanks for the support. Let's see. I reuse my charcoal all the time. I rarely throw it out unless it's just like a handful, and it's mostly, ashed up anyway. Cheers. What I find, it gets a little moisture in it, like from dew and moisture overnight. The briquettes will absorb some of that, and I think that's what affects it. I mean, you can take a brand new bag of charcoal and leave it open and sit it out back, and overnight, when you come back and use it the next day, you're going to have pretty much the same effect. So I don't know that you can get around that other than just using fresh charcoal every batch, But I've had that experience with me too, and usually it doesn't bother me a whole lot because I'm usually cooking low and slow, so it's okay. If you're wanting to grill a pizza or fire it up and grill a steak or something, yeah, you really need to use some fresh charcoal. It's hard to get around that, man. Anyway, I hope that answers the question. It happens to all of us. There's not really a way to get around it other than using fresh charcoal. Next question is from Gordo's Good Eats. Oh, that's my buddy down in South Texas. Aaron, I believe is his name. How you doing, buddy? He says, hey, T-Roy. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. Doing good, Gordo. Gordo's got a channel too. If you're interested in checking out, he's got a catering business and he does barbecue on the side, and makes videos about it and stuff. So y'all go check out his YouTube channel, Gordo's Good Eats. Link's down below in the description. Hit show more. Anyway, he says, I have a custom drum smoker, and want to cook about 20 pounds of brisket in 10 hours at 225 with a 4-gallon water bucket. He says, I'm still getting used to the speed of it. The question is, have you ever had a problem with fast smoking where you assume hour per pound, then it cooks twice as fast? Not really. I'm sure that has a lot to do with your setup with your pit that you're cooking it on, but it also has a lot to do with the quality of the meat. For instance, I've mentioned before, if I'm using select or choice, brisket's usually an hour and a half a pound, give or take a little bit, at 225 Fahrenheit. If I'm cooking prime, it's more like an hour to an hour and 15 minutes a pound. So the more marbled the meat is, the faster it'll cook. That fat that's rendering out in there heats up the inside of the meat and helps it cook a little bit faster. So you're doing fine, man. I wouldn't worry about it. A lot of people complain about their cooks being too long when they do low and slow. So speeding it up a little bit, I don't think that's a bad thing. As long as the meat turns out fine, good to go, man. Good to go. Appreciate the question. Next question is from another YouTuber. His channel is Kidder's Barbecue. Y'all go check him out. Says, hey T-Roy, I got a question for you. Hit me. He says, if you could pick 3 of your favorite barbecue sauces, what would they be? Cheers to you, buddy. Hey, cheers to you. Appreciate that very much. And by the way, all these YouTubers that I'm mentioning that comment on my videos, I do go watch their videos too. I'm not just giving them shout outs. They've actually got some great videos, so y'all go check them out. Barbecue sauces. I like You Know You Want It by El Rabbit's Barbecue, another YouTuber, but really, really good barbecue sauce. He's got a regular and a spicy. And also, I like Tim Bucks. It's tim-bucks.com is their website. Oh, and Manuel, El Rabbit's Barbecue, buy his stuff on his Facebook page. I'll put links below in the description for you. Third one, I would say, let me see. You Know You Want It, Tim Bucks. It's not really a barbecue sauce, but I really like the rib candy made by Texas Pepper Jelly. It's like a think of it as like a sweet honey infused with a kiss of habanero. I mean, it's not super spicy. You can get it super spicy, but just the regular version is not super spicy. It's like a sweet honey glaze with or maybe it's more like agave nectar. It's thinner than honey, okay? It's not thick like honey. It's thinner than honey, so you can basically paint it on your ribs or whatever you're cooking. But I like that a whole lot too, I really do. And just store-bought stuff, I'd say Sweet Baby Ray. He's got some good stuff. It's really sweet though. Appreciate the questions, man. Next question is from Everyday Barbecue. How you doing? It's another YouTuber, man. I'm getting a bunch of YouTubers asking questions. He says, enjoyed watching. Working hard to get my way up to a mention someday, buddy. Oh, and that beer looks good. Well, there you go. Shout out to Everyday Barbecue. Y'all go check the boy out, man. I appreciate the support, man. You don't have to do much for a shout out. It helps if you ask a question, though. You guys crack me up. Next one is from Junior SVT. He says, Troy, since you've been doing this Thursday chat for over a year, have you ever looked back on some of your earlier videos and thought to yourself, what was I thinking? When giving advice or an answer to a question. I find the more I smoke meat and watch others, what others are doing on the different YouTube channels, I learned that sometimes there's a better way. Just curious, Mitch. Hey, Mitch, cheers, man. Appreciate the question. That's a good one. I'll go back and watch my older chats unless somebody's got a specific question about something I answered in there. I do go back and watch my older cooking videos. And I look at it this way. I mean, every day you learn something new, hopefully. If you don't, then you need to do something in your life where you're learning something every day. That's the way I look at it. So yes, the more I cook, the better I get, the more efficient I am, the more experience I have with it, and the better I can answer the question. So if you asked me the same question a year ago, I'd probably give you a different answer today. It just comes with the territory. You learn as you go. That's where you get wisdom from. That's where you get all your experience from that. The wisdom comes from experience, I guess. But I don't know the answer to everything for sure, man. There's some last week I couldn't answer. I was like, hey, help out, guys. And you did. I appreciate it, too. Y'all got some good conversations going on some of those questions from last week, man. So we're all just a big community here. I love food, and I know you guys do as well. So I appreciate your chiming in on my behalf when you get a chance. If you've got some more experience at something than I do, or a different idea about how to do something, or a better way to answer a question, feel free to chime in. Thanks for the question, man. Mitch, I appreciate it. Next question is from Jamie Satterley. Let me scroll down on my laptop here. Oh, hang on, guys. I'm actually left-handed, but I couldn't do that left-handed for some reason. I'm getting used to the Mac. Let's see. Jamie Satterley says, "Cheers, Troy. Under the weather right now and watching and rewatching some of your videos. Oh, man, I hope you're feeling better soon. Oh, sorry about that." He says, "Watching the one where your lid was giving you issues on the Kamado Joe. Excuse me. Wondering if they fixed that for you. Great videos, man, and cheers from Kentucky." Hey, cheers to you, Jamie. Appreciate the support, man. No, Kamado Joe has not reached out trying to fix that for me. Each time I contact them, they tell me to try different things, and I'm like, just send me a new hinge, you know, a new ring to go around the thing, so and a better hinge, because I got a newer hinge nowadays, but they haven't done it. I mean, I can cook on it the way it is, but it's just difficult to shoot video while I'm cooking on it, because I need like 4 hands, you know. I got to hold that lid up once the Kamado Joe gets hot. But I hear through the grapevine that the new hinges will not fit the old model Kamado Joe like I've got. I hear they work a lot better, but they will not fit. So that could be why they haven't sent me any. I don't know. But I don't know. I still cook on the Kamado Joe, just not a whole lot. It's great for higher temp stuff. Next question is from Kevin Jones. How you doing, Kevin? He says, "T-Roy, what would be an affordable entry-level camera for a new channel?" You know what? I actually got my brother one of these. It's a Canon PowerShot series camera. I think it's like I got him like the HS 260 or something like that. It doesn't have a flip-out viewfinder. I mean, a flip-out viewer, so you can't really see yourself. But it's got a wide angle lens on it, so you can actually get a lot of information, and it's got a good zoom if you need to zoom in on some food and take pictures. So I would go with the Canon PowerShot series cameras. You know, just find what color and which one you like. They have pretty good audio on them as well, and the lenses are great. That'd be my suggestion. There's a lot of good ones out there. A lot of times those PowerShot ones, like I'm talking about, they range anywhere from a couple of $100 to $300 or so, depending on what features you want on them. You know, so you're looking at that kind of price range anyway. And sometimes on sale at Christmas time here, you can find them on Amazon cheaper than a couple of $100, you know, 160 or 180. So check them out, man. Good little cameras. Next question is from Big Barn. How you doing, Big Barn? He says, "Hello and cheers to you, T-Roy. I found your channel through Baby Back Maniac. I'm a good friend, Justin." Yeah, man. Justin and I we're close, man. We talk almost every day, I swear. He's a hoot. Justin, you need to come back over, or I need to go back out and see you, man. I miss my brother. But anyway, I'm glad you found me through Justin. That's awful sweet of you to join on this community we got going here. He says, "I love how you present your channel, down to earth and southern." Yep, comes with the territories, I guess. I'm from the South, man. You know, we just do our own thing down here, I guess. He says, "Being from Florida, I can appreciate your laid back attitude." Oh, there you go. Yeah, y'all laid back in Florida as well. I need to visit Florida, man. I don't think I've ever been to Florida. Maybe I go see Booger. Yeah, I need to go see Booger. That's what I do. Let's see. Question is, I've been a huge fan and user of the Weber Kettle the Weber Kettle 22 for many years. I was considering upgrading to the 26-inch Weber Kettle with the slow and sear or the large Kamado Joe. There's a huge price difference, and I didn't know if you had an opinion on whether it was worth it or not. By the way, I love the vintage trailer birdhouse. Yeah, that birdhouse back there. Karen loves vintage trailers and stuff, man. He says, "Keep up the great work. I'm glad I found your channel." Hey, appreciate you joining in, man. Thank you very much for the support. Glad you're enjoying it. Yeah, I would say go with the 26-inch Weber Kettle with the slow and sear. You can pretty much do everything that you can do in the Kamado Joe on it. Plus, it's a lot more maneuverable. The Kamado Joe is quite hefty, man. The Big Joe, I think it's close to 400 pounds. So it's a lot to move around. So plus, you know, I don't know, it takes a while to heat it up and also a while to cool back down. And if you get the temp too high, it takes a while to get that temp to come back down, you know. So sometimes if you overshoot your cooking temp, you just have to roll with the flow, man. Anyway, I go with the Weber. Weber's an excellent product. you can't. The Kamado Joe will do you right. You know, the newer models are a lot better than the older model like I've got. So, but the price difference, in my opinion, is not worth it. I would go with the kettle. Next question is from Alex Dominguez. How you doing, Alex? He says, what would be your best advice for a first-time stick burner user? Also, any suggestions on what should be my first cook on there? Thanks for the feedback. Keep up the great videos. Best advice for a first-time stick burner. Just dive in, man. You start off just doing a regular, like, practice cook and get the feel of your pit. I mean, you got to figure out how to adjust the intake and the exhaust vents on it, how much wood you need it to get to maintain temps. You know, it's a lot to it. It's a lot of different things that you need to learn how to control. So the only way to do that is just dive in and cook on the thing. As far as cooking it to get it seasoned up real good, I would cook some fatty foods like some chicken, burgers, you know, but for smoking and stuff, ribs, you know, brisket, pork. It's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I'd start off with some chicken, man. Chicken's cheap, and if you screw it up, it's not that big of an expensive waste. So that's what I would start off with. But just dive in and go with it, man. Once you get the hang of it, you're going to love it. I know I do. I love mine. Love mine, man. Next question is from DQ'd Barbecue. He's got a channel as well. Y'all go check him out. He says, hey, Troy, great channel and beard. Thank you very much. Yeah, man, I'm loving the beard. Says, my question is, have you ever used your smoker to contribute to the cooking and flavor of desserts? And if so, what was it? I did it wasn't really smoked, it was grilled bananas. I made a bananas Foster dessert one time, and that was really, really good. I think I did have a little smoke. I've got a little smoke box in my gas grill that put wood chips in there, and I don't soak them or anything ahead of time. I just put them in there, and that creates smoke in the cooking chamber. But I think it was last week, Stephanie Jimenez was asking me to do an apple pie on the barbecue pit. So I'm considering doing that. I don't eat a lot of desserts, so I don't really cook a lot of desserts. But I can definitely give that a shot. And I've also had quite a few requests to do some breakfast foods, so maybe I'll make y'all some breakfast tacos or something along the lines too. But yeah, great question, man. Appreciate that. Next question is from Michael Ruiz. He says, hey, T-Roy, I watched all your rib videos and noticed that you put the Texas rib candy mango habanero glaze on mostly every rib you smoke. And I was wondering what exact flavor it imparts on the rib after they're done. Well, like I mentioned earlier, I do love the rib candy, especially that habanero, mango habanero rib candy on there. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, check the link for Texas pepper jelly down in the description. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, I love all that stuff. Got a squirrel. Hopefully Lucy doesn't see it and start barking like crazy. Running along the fence over here. Anyway, like I said earlier, it's like I guess it's like an agave nectar. It's about that same consistency. It's sweet like honey, and it's got a little peppery kick from the habanero. And it's also got the mango flavor. Now, I'm not a huge mango fan. I wouldn't just sit and just eat mango by itself, but I like that mango habanero glaze, rib candy. But they also make apple, cherry. They make what they call a bird bath, which is like a peach, I think, peach-flavored glaze, rib candy. So they're all good. Oh, big shout out to all my servicemen out there. Love you guys, man. Thanks for what you do for all of us, and I hope each one of you get home safely. Yeah, it's good, though. It's really, really good. It's worth the price. Appreciate the question, man. Next question is from Zach Smith. How you doing, Zach? Cheers to you, my man. He says, hey, T-Roy, cheers to you, my friend. Hey, there you go. Cheers to you. I have a question about cooking ribs on the pit barrel. Do you find it hard to gauge exactly when to pull them? I've taken my ribs too far and they've fallen off the coal. They've fallen off and down into the coals because I wanted to get them as tender as possible without falling off the bone. Oh, and I still ate the ribs, by the way. Yeah, Zach, I would too, man. Just because I get a little ash on there, it ain't gonna hurt it. That's good stuff, man. I usually, for the pit barrel cooker anyway, I like to probe it to see if the meat's done. I'll just probe the meat between the ribs with a meat probe and see how tender it is that way. The other way to do it that I use, if it's like on my regular offset or something, or the Weber Smokey Mountain or Kamado Joe or anything, if it's on a flat grill, I'll do the bend test. You can also do that on the pit barrel cooker, but you've got to take it out and lay it on like a cutting board or something, and then grab your tongs and kind of pinch it and do the bend test. Pinch it so that part of the flap is hanging down, part of the rib is hanging down. Grab it about halfway in the middle, and if it bends and it starts kind of cracking the meat a little bit, it's done. But yeah, just probe it, man. When it's getting tender, by probing it, it's time to come off. Great question, though, man. Great question. Next question, let's see. It's a long one, folks. This is from M3Rob7. And I know that stands for something, but I can't think of for the life of me what it is. Anyway, he's got a channel. Put a link for him down there. And if y'all are interested in sports racing, cars and stuff, go check out his channel. He's got some cool videos on there. He says, hey, T-Roy, got a question for you about brisket on the 22-inch Weber Kettle. All right? And cheers to you, by the way. Appreciate the support. He says, I haven't smoked too many briskets so far, but the last one has been the best one yet. I wanted to ask a question about refueling during cooks. The brisket, 12 pounds, took me about 14 hours cook time, and I had to refuel twice during the cook. I had a temp drop the last refuel for about an hour and had thought I'd ruin the cook as the internal temp dropped over 10 degrees. Nah, that ain't gonna ruin it, man. People pay too much attention to the temps a lot of the times. You're gonna get swings in temps within the meat and within your cooking chamber. Just have fun with it, folks. Just have fun with it. Don't concentrate so much on getting it exact. As long as you're in the general area, you're fine. Don't worry about it. And a 10, 15 dip, temperature degree dip in the meat, it's not going to hurt anything, man. May just add a little bit more to the cook time, but it's not really going to hurt anything. He says, any advice on how to smoothly refuel during a cook? Would you recommend adding lit charcoals or unlit and letting it catch naturally? I was using the minion method, so when I refuel, put the remaining coals to one side and add the unlit to the remaining space, which caused a lot of smoke for about 15 minutes or so as they light and come to temp. I've been watching all your videos for a while now and you give some great advice. Sorry for the long question. I appreciate all the help. Cheers from California, brother. Yeah, cheers to you, man. Cheers to you. You got some great videos too, by the way. Let's see. Refueling on a kettle is, 22-inch kettle. If you got the slow and sear, you really don't have to worry about that too much. If you're just using the regular baskets or no baskets at all and lining the charcoal up against the side, I can see where that would be a problem. Personally, I just put the unlit charcoals against the ones that are lit and just let them light naturally. That's the way I've always done it. I haven't really noticed a huge drop in the temp as long as you don't take the lid off too long and that you still have some lit coals that can jumpstart the other ones. So you're doing it the way that I would do it. Now, I know shooting videos, I do have pretty good swings in temperature on my cooking chamber because I'm busy taking the lid off so you guys can see the video footage that I'm trying to shoot. And it takes a little while to get that going. So I will see huge swings in my temperatures on mine. But the rest of you guys, you just take it off, maybe baste it with some barbecue sauce or something, or probe it and see where the meat temperature is, or flip it around if it's cooking uneven, that kind of thing, and you put the lid right back on. So you really don't have that issue a whole lot. But that's the best way I think that you could do it. If you're worried about the smoke after you light the charcoals, that's just going to happen, man. It's going to happen. Usually, if you're using the minion method and you put the new coals up against the ones that are already lit, you're not going to have a lot of smoke, minimal smoke. Now, if you're just putting a bunch of charcoals over a bunch of lit charcoals, you're going to get a lot of billowing smoke. I wouldn't do that. Just put like a line of charcoal next to the charcoal that's already lit and let it continue the minion method or the snake method. And, if you've worked all the way out using the minion method from the center, it works all the way out, and you still got coals around the outer edge, put some coals inside of that so it works its way back in. There you go. Anyway, I hope that helped, man. Hope that helped. Next question is from Big Green Barbecue. He says, "Hey T-Roy, cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you, Big Green Barbecue." Man, I was gonna point people to your page, but I don't see any videos you have up. So put some videos up, man, so I can give you some shout outs and get people to go sub to you. He says, yeah, Big Green Barbecue. He says, I'm looking to up my game this summer and purchase a smoker. I'm debating between the Weber Smokey Mountain, the Weber Summit Charcoal, or the Yoder Wichita. Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks, brother. Yeah, if you just want authentic, real barbecue, go with the Wichita or another offset. You know, I mean, there's a big price difference between the Wichita and the Summit. My second choice would be get the Summit, but the the charcoal Summit, like Justin has, Baby Back Maniac. He loves his. But you won't get the same flavor that you will off of an offset. You know, it's like when you walk into a barbecue joint that's been around for 100 years. You walk in, you can smell the smoke in the walls. You see the discoloration of the walls and the ceiling and stuff, you know. That same smoke flavor is what you get when you open up the lid to my Wichita. I love that smell, man. I love it. And it's seasoned well. So you'll get that same smoke flavor into the meat when you cook it on offset. You will get a fairly close flavored meat off of charcoal using wood chunks or the Mojo bricks or anything like that for your wood source. But you know, mainly you're using charcoal briquettes and just wood chunks to give the little smoke flavor. So it's not as intense of a smoke flavor that you would get off of an offset. So a lot of it depends on your money. I mean, if I had the money, I'd definitely get an offset before I would get the other cookers. If money was an issue, I'd go with the Weber Summit charcoal. And I just say that because it's like insulated. The Weber Smokey Mountain's a great smoker, don't get me wrong, man, but it's not insulated. So a lot of you up in the north, y'all have huge temperature swings in the wintertime. You'll have issues with that Weber Smokey Mountain. It'll be difficult to maintain temps in it unless you insulate it with some like heater, water heater blanket or a regular blanket you throw on the bed or something, you know. Anyway, hope that helps, man. Appreciate it. Next question is from Cooking with CJ. What's up, my man CJ? How you doing, bro? Cheers to you. You hear when my mind's working faster than my mouth wants to go? Anyway, thanks for the question, CJ. Y'all go check him out. Cooking with CJ, man. He says, hey, Troy, got a question for you. I have just a normal gas grill. I'm not a barbecue channel. My question is, any tips on how I can add some smokiness to the meat on my gas grill? I've added smoked wood chips to a tin pan before, but I was wondering if there's any better option out there besides buying a smoker. Cheers to you, brother. Yeah, cheers to you, CJ. Yeah, let me grab what I use real quick. Hang on. My local grocery store sells these. This is a smoker box. It's just like a stainless steel box. It's got holes in the top. The lid comes off of it, and you can put charcoal. Not charcoal. This is charcoal now because I burned it. But wood chips in here. You don't need to wet them or anything. You can if you want, but I don't. But put them in here. Put the lid on tight. Put this over your burner, and it'll heat up the wood, and the wood will start smoking. So that's a great way to do it. And again, these are cheap at my local grocery store anyway. They're like $5, if that. So I'm sure you can find them on Amazon or eBay or any of those other sites out there. Or check your local grocery stores. They work really well. They really do. Next question is from Zach Korber. New to your channel, I'm really enjoying the content you put out. Great stuff. Thanks, Zach. Appreciate that, bro. He says, I asked this on a last Thursday chat, but I asked too late. Oh, sorry about that, man. I usually film these. I'm filming it on Wednesday today, so I'm kind of rushed. But I usually film these on Mondays or Tuesdays for that same week to go up on Thursday. So, yeah, if you've asked your question like on a Wednesday, usually it's too late. If you ask it on Tuesday, sometimes it's too late. If you wait till late Monday, a lot of times it's too late. So try to get your questions in before the weekend's over. He says, I asked this on the previous chat. Was wondering what kind of knives do you use and how do you care and maintain them? Also, what about your cutting boards? What kind of hardware do you use to edit your videos with? Thank you. Keep up the great work. Okay, so you got a few questions. First one, what kind of knives do I use and how do I care for them, maintain them? I use Wüsthof knives mainly. I love the Wüsthof, the classic line, they call it. They have a little cheaper grade line that they put out. I forget the name of it, like Gourmet or something like that. But I think the classic line is the better one, the heavier duty ones. They got the full tongue in the handle. And I just sharpen them with a steel. You know, I've got one of them, looks like a long rod. You know, do that. Karen's got one of them little cheap things that, you know, you can run the blade through on the fine and the coarse and sharpen it that way. Sometimes I use that, but rarely. And care for them, I just wash them by hand. I don't ever stick them in the dishwasher. I wash all my knives by hand and just make sure that, you know, if they're dull, I'll definitely sharpen them, but usually I sharpen them fairly often, once a month or so. Try to keep a knife good sharp edge on them. And I've got so many knives I don't sharpen them with every use because I don't use them every time, you know. Plus a lot of times I'm just cutting meat or vegetables, and you know, I'm not cutting anything too thick that's going to dull it. Those Wüsthofs hold a nice edge, man. They really do. I've also got some Damascus steel knives that I got somebody, one of my friends on YouTube sent me. He actually makes knives, but man, I honestly can't remember your name. So if you're watching this, let me know who you are, because I get questions from people all the time asking me where can they get those Damascus knives from. But those you have to keep oiled up. The steel will rust on you if you don't have a nice thin layer of oil on the knives. And I've got those Damascus knives in sheaths so that they're protected. And the ones that, the Wüsthofs, the big knives that I use, I've just got a magnetic strip that's on my wall in my kitchen. I just hang the knives up on that. The other question you had was, let's see, cutting boards. What kind of cutting boards? I've been using the cutting boards from my good friend Alex. He's here local in Texas, up around Dallas, I believe. But he makes these boards homemade out of his garage. And they're really, really nice boards. His company, you can find on in the description box, I'll put a link to it. But on Facebook, Pork Belly Woodworks. Pork like pig, Pork Belly Woodworks. Look him up on Facebook and tell him I sent you, man. Dude's name's Alex. He does great work. There you go. Karen's got that pig board y'all see me use, a dark wooden board. Sometimes I think it's walnut. Karen got that from Paula Dean's website, I believe. A lot of people ask me about that one as well. And I've got a large bamboo board that I just got from a local grocery store. So I like the bamboo board too, but the Alex at the Pork Belly Woodworks, he uses hardwoods, and pretty much tell him what size you want, how thick you want it, what woods you want to use, and he'll make it happen for you. He's really considerate about making stuff, you know, for you by hand, from scratch. But he's also got some boards usually that he's just put together on his own, and he's willing to sell to you. He'll send you a picture and say, hey, would you be interested in this? You know, but he'll work with you if you need a really homemade board for you. Check him out, man. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Come on now. Let's see. You also asked me, what kind of hardware do you use to edit your videos with? Okay. Mainly I use a Dell Alienware. It's a desktop, fully loaded, man. It's fully loaded to the max. I've got the R2 unit. I think they have an R3 now. So my motherboard will only handle 32 gigs of RAM, but I've got 32 gigs in it. And I've got like 4 or 5, 6 terabyte hard drives in that thing. And it's got a really fast processor, the top line processor that they sold in the Alienware R2s back when I got this one. It's fully loaded, man. I've also got this MacBook Pro 2015 edition that I bought used, so I can do some editing on that as well. As far as the editing programs to edit my videos and render them out and all that, I use Adobe Premiere Pro and also sometimes Adobe Audition for the audio, but Adobe Premiere Pro mainly for the, I've got the Creative Cloud, you know, for the video editing. And just for a backup, I also use CyberLink Power Director, but that's only for PCs. That's not for Macs. CyberLink Power Director. And CyberLink Power Director is like $70 or $60 or something like that for a year. The Adobe Creative Cloud, you can get a single program like Premiere Pro for like 20 or $25 a month, or you can get everything they offer from Adobe for like $54 I think a month, and that's what I've got. I've got everything, you know, because sometimes I need the audio. I mean, if I just went with the Premiere Pro and the audio, Adobe Audition by themselves, that's like $45-50 by themselves. So why not spend another $5-7 and get everything they offer? That's how I look at it anyway. Anyway, appreciate the questions, Zach. Hope that helps, man. If you got any more, let me know. Next question is from Two Hammers. My buddy Two Hammers, how you doing, man? Cheers to you. He says, just wanted to ask a question off topic outside of food on my channel. Okay. He says, I do a lot of everyday carry videos and gear reviews somewhat. Okay. Okay, so you're talking about conceal and carry weapons and gear. So hunting and stuff, I guess. Anyway, y'all go check them out. Two Hammers. I'll see if I can put a link for you down below. If you're interested in hunting, knives, guns, stuff like that, I think that's what he's talking about. He says, wanted to know what you carry every day. Do you carry a knife? Do you carry a gun? I do carry a knife. I don't carry a gun, but we got plenty of guns. You know us guys here in Texas, man. And ladies, too. Don't forget about the ladies here in Texas. Karen got guns. We all got guns, man. That's another squirrel. Y'all may see him running along the fence back here. He says, reason I ask is Missouri is now open carry, but not many people open carry. But when I went down to visit Texas, people are open carry everywhere. Great thing to see, even though I still only conceal carry, personal preference. Take care, buddy. Yeah, they've got a lot of concealed carry here. They've got a lot of people that just carry out in the open, too. So, yeah, man, it's great. It's great. I like that. I don't have anything against that. I think it deters violence if somebody sees you toting a gun. You know, they're likely to think twice about trying to attack you or mug you or something. So I look at it that way. I'm all for the Second Amendment. That's all I got for today, man. I need to go do some stuff. I actually got to go cook. Oh, did I mention? I wanted to thank all of you who suggested what I cooked for Christmas. I may have mentioned this at the beginning. I can't remember. But if I didn't, thank all of you who suggested something. I've chosen to do a smoked ham. So y'all stay tuned for that. I'll hopefully have that up maybe this Tuesday, maybe the following. Depends on how it goes. I'm actually brining it. I got a fresh picnic ham I'm brining. And once the brine's done, I'm going to smoke it. So y'all stay tuned for that, man. But thanks again for all the questions, all the suggestions. If y'all like this, y'all give me some thumbs up. If you got questions, put them in the comment section down below. If you need to chime in on something I answered a question to, go ahead and chime in down below as well. We all a family. We appreciate each other's support. So I thank you, and so do the people that you're helping out there with your advice. That swallowed wrong, man. Anyway, again, thumbs up. If you like this, hope you share the video. When you do, please tell all your friends that T-Roy cooks responsibly. Cheers to you, everybody.